My body became a prison cell. My room was a prison cell. Everything was just confining me.
Tice Ledbetter was 14 the day of the accident, August 22, 2010. He and his mom, Mary, and dad, Mark, were on a 2-lane road outside San Diego when an oncoming car swerved right into their lane.
The last thing that I saw was just a car in front of ours.
At that moment, everything went black.
The other driver, who was drunk, died on impact, while Tice suffered a broken leg and a severe internal injury that needed immediate surgery. But for him, there was a deeper underlying issue.
I had damage to my brainstem.
And the way that it was explained is that it was a soft tissue damage in the brain.
But it wasn't until after 4 months of bed rest that he felt its effects.
One day, I tried standing up just a bit too fast and I started to black out. And that's when I knew that there was something wrong.
There just wasn't a lot of energy. He just wanted to stay in his room, and he wanted the room dark, and he didn't want a lot of noise.
Symptoms like extreme fatigue, blacking out, heart palpitations, and even hypermobility of his joints increased. And despite multiple visits to neurologists and other doctors, no one had answers.
I became so dissociated from time. I didn't have any perception of it anymore, and years went by.
Tice would spend 7 years confined to his home, unable to drive or carry on any form of a normal life.
I was so caught up with people misunderstanding me and not looking at the pain that I was feeling.
In that 7 years, his dad passed away tragically, and his mom eventually remarried and moved to Texas while Tice chose to stay with his grandmother in San Diego.
I never doubted. I just knew, and I would pray, and I would just say, you know what, thank you. Thank you so much, God, that I know my son will be healed.
Finally, in 2017, cardiovascular specialist Dr. Stephen Hu with Scripps Clinic ran a tilt table test and diagnosed Tice with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS, a disorder of the autonomic nervous system that affects blood circulation.
It all started from the motor vehicle accident where he sustained significant trauma to his brainstem. When that occurred, his body was unable to regulate his blood pressure response, his heart rate response to simple upright posture.
I finally had a name for it, but with that came the realization that there was just no known cure. I hung on to that diagnosis as my identity.
Dr. Hu prescribed medication to help manage the condition, but some symptoms still remained as Tice sank further under the weight of the prognosis. In Texas, Mary and her church small group prayed and fasted, believing God for healing. As time went on, something in Tice started to shift.
What I started noticing after we started these prayer sessions, they went on for about a year, is that he'd start saying to me, you know, Mom, I really want to go to church.
God sent people to pray over me. Progressively, I started to gain faith. I realized that he loves me and that he wanted to heal me.
Then in mid-2018, Tice's cousin invited him to Red Seal, a church that had regular healing services. He attended every week asking for prayer, and after he had been going for 2 months, Tice had a special encounter with a woman named Ivy.
She ends up telling me a little bit about her testimony, that she was really sick herself and then God had healed her. She says postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I was like, that's what I have. I've never heard anyone else or seen anyone else with that.
Ivy had sensed the Lord brought her there for a special reason that night. Now she knew and began praying over Tice.
Instantly, I just felt God so strong, and I felt my body just come back online, and it felt amazing.
Afterwards, Tice called his mom.
God gave our family our Tice back.
No longer experiencing the debilitating symptoms he had known for so many years, Tice went to see Dr. Hu confirmed for a follow-up.
It was wonderful to see him sort of lighten up and come out of his shell. He actually wanted to reduce his medication so that he could feel better. from being so debilitated to being able to start a new life, start a new family. It's really a miracle.
And start a new life and family he did. Tice was able to eventually stop his medication. He climbed a mountain, married his wife Megan, and he and his mom are still telling his miraculous story of healing to those around them.
I get to share that joy, and I get to be an inspiration to other parents that have children that are sick and say, you know what? God is with you, and he's going to carry you through.
Every aspect of my life that was negative has just fallen away. And it's just more and more of God's goodness.